Welcome to the 1990 series. My name's Amanda O'Shea, the Loving Life Coach from the Serendipity Experience. And I have with me today my buddy, Seth Bolton, who is
Hello,
live from London. Hello, Seth.
live from the city. Hello, how are you doing, Amanda?
Oh, I'm really good. Thank you, my lovely. Thank you for being part of this.
No problem.
Yeah, so Seth has been my little mate for 3 years now. We work together at,
Is it 3 years or is it longer than 3 years?
I think just we first came up, I think like October
Yeah,
2016 or so. And
yeah.
it was, yeah, so 3 years more or less since sort of, became a friend of the treatment centre. And it was
hmm
March 2017 that I started working there full time.
So I've known you for 3 years and you started working there, what, 2.5 years ago?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And that's been a long 3 years for you, hey, Seth?
Yeah, it's still going on now. I thought I got away. I'll just pretend.
So the lovely Seth and I work together at Step One Recovery, and so Seth has seen me on my journey, and I've seen Seth on his journey, and that's before we've dealt with any of the clients.
I think we've seen the best of each other and the worst of each other, haven't we? Very nice.
I'm sure, but you know what? I still love you.
Of course, we survived. We got through it. We're still in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's been amazing, like obviously to have had the relationship that we've had, and now that you've moved back to London just
hmm
last week, and we've named this little talk New Beginnings.
Mm.
So obviously you're on a new beginning now again.
Just started one, yeah.
Yeah, with your new life in London. And when I finish this 1990 series, I might have a new beginning.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. Somebody said to me today, has it been that? How has it been doing this 1990 series? And I said, you know what? Actually, it's been kind of pretty like it's a commitment.
Mm.
It's a commitment. And actually, Seth, the 1990 thing kind of idea would have come mainly from you, because it was from you that I heard you recommend to so many people
Yeah.
about
In 90 days. Yeah.
so from the fellowships and from the sort of from the 12-step world. So that is where I got the idea, this 90 and 90 that you would talk about, encouraging in early recovery. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how easy that has been for people that do this 90-90. Did you ever do that? Did you ever in your...
I think I did more than 90 and 90. I got absolutely obsessed, and I was really obsessed with the meetings and fitting in with our theme. It was all the new beginning. It felt like life was a new beginning at that point, and AA was my lifeline. It was my kind of bridge to a new beginning. So, I mean, I wasn't working when I came into recovery. I didn't really have a lot else going on in my life. So 90 meetings in 90 days was easy, because it was what I was sort of, it gave me a purpose and a direction. But I do appreciate that sometimes I've said to people 90 and 90 and, they're working and they've got families and, you're doing this 90 and 90 around a job and all the rest of it. I can imagine. I don't know if I could have done 90 AA meetings in 90 days with my life that I'm leading now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could have done that,
Yeah. So it is, and that was the whole point, is that when I heard you sort of saying that to people, I was like, that's quite a challenge. But you're right. If people aren't working, and that is their prioritizing. So of course I was doing a different slant, because it was, the idea was 1919, not doing any meetings as such, but doing meetings online with 9 fabulous people from all over the world that have been a big part of my journey over my 50 years, but especially the last kind of 7 years. So
since you've been in Spain?
13 years I've been in Spain, but I guess since I came across the principles, really was when the coaching work kind of took that slant. And so
sure,
a lot of people that have been on these calls have been from the kind of 3 principles community. But we wanted to just talk a little bit like a message that we might have that might be helpful to somebody listening. And new beginnings, you mentioned, is something that you've realized you kind of like that.
I love them. I absolutely love new beginnings. And I don't know if I've got a healthy or an unhealthy relationship with them, because part of me loves that sense of newness. I'm constantly looking for it. But then when I look throughout my life, I think maybe I've chucked things in a bit prematurely, like in the pursuit of that newness, of that new feeling, of that being at the beginning of something again. And maybe I should just be looking at the things I've already got and reinvesting in them for a sense of newness. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like,
no, yeah, it does make sense, because do you know what, Seth? What is available to us is to have a fresh perspective on every
on the old stuff, yeah,
everything
on
we've
everything.
already got. Like, but that's available to us every single moment.
And that's very true. You know, I can get a fresh perspective if I try hard enough on like a tube journey in London or something like that. You can approach it with that sense of newness, like a kind of beginner's mind, and look at it as if for the first time. It's something I've been trying to do a little bit more of, rather than I need to change everything. It's kind of, I need to change the way I'm looking at everything. So then I'm getting that new beginning feeling. Does that make sense?
It does. And I don't even know that that's hard work or working harder. I think that the more that you step back and the more that you see how or where your experience of life is truly coming from, the more you see the gift of potential freshness that's available always. You know, so having that conversation with somebody that you've known for years and years and years, there's freshness available when we don't bring our kind of what we think we know to any event or any conversation.
We don't bring our ego to the party. Yeah,
that's what gets in the way, really.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Is what, or that's how I you know, that's how I see it. And that's kind of cool, because that kind of nudges boredom a bit out of the way.
Yeah, no, very true. You know, and boredom has always been a problem of mine. I've always been, and that's my pursuit of newness probably comes a little bit from my short attention span and I want something different now. Sometimes I'm not sure it's that I want something new. It's I want something different than what I've got, which is probably more about feeling a little bit discontented. So yeah, that's how I've changed my relationship with new beginnings, is more in the moment to moment new beginnings, and looking at things that are old and familiar in a new way.
Yeah.
You know, I read a thing recently, someone said, can't remember where it was, a book I was reading recently, try and challenge yourself to, you know, be an alien for the day. Imagine you come from some arid, rocky planet and you've never seen any of this before.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the first time you're looking at everything, your socks, your shower, your toothbrush, you know, your coffee, you've never had coffee before. Just approach it with a sense of newness and a sense of, you know, wonder. And I've tried that, and, you know, I'm not saying it was like miraculous, but it was nice, you know. Yeah. Got a fresh feeling from the day, which I liked.
And that is very much like, if you know, people that have got children or grandchildren or work with children, is you are seeing that through like the eyes of, wow, what's that?
The wonderment in their eyes. Yeah, wow, this is all new and exciting. And that's what I like. That's the feeling I love. But I do like the feeling as well of being at the beginning of something. And I'm very much at the beginning of a new chapter right now. You know, I've just come back to London, which I know fairly well, but I don't know this area that well. And I start a new job tomorrow morning, very early.
Oh, okay.
So, and it does feel, I've got that sense of excitement. Like, this is a new part of my journey, completely new. And I love that feeling. Do you know Laurie Lee? He's a poet, and he wrote a book. He wrote a wonderful book about Spain called As I Walked Out One Midsummer Morning, which chronicled, it's a beautiful book. And because he's a poet, it's very descriptive. Every word seems to kind of jump off the page. And he wrote this book about when he was, I think, 19. He left London. He'd never even left London before. And he walked to the Cotswolds. And then he ended up on a boat to Vigo in the north of Spain. Right. And he came in and he walked over 3 months from Vigo in the north right down to Malaga. He literally walked the whole of Spain one summer. And his book's just a memoir of his experience, but I think he encapsulates that feeling of newness really well. And I've got a quote from the book here, which I'd like to read, if that's
okay. Oh, I'd love that. Yeah.
And it's about him, you know, coming to the virgin shores of Spain, and I've just left, you know, I've just left Spain, so I thought it was kind of fitting. But this is about his arrival. And he says, I'll read it slow because my reading's not always that great. I'll read it nice and slow. It says, I felt it was for this I had come, to wake at dawn on a hillside and look out on a world for which I had no words, to start at the beginning, speechless and without a plan, in a place that still had no memories for me. And that was his experience of arriving in Spain as a 19-year-old man, just knew, you know, that sense of excitement. Do we ever lose that? Have you felt like you get that less as you've got a bit, sensitively said, a bit older?
Yeah, nice one, Seth. I love that. A place that's got no memories, almost yet comes into mind.
Yeah, no memories yet. Yeah, how you shape it is down to you.
I think I don't lose it, but I've got quite a I've got quite a youthful, I think,
You've got quite a youthful outlook. Yeah,
playful, you know, but the more that we see that we are like, with the capacity that we have for full potential, the more that we see that is available to us when we get out, you know, when we let all the other stuff get out of the way and see we can actually do what we want, you know, in a way. If anything that pops into our mind, we've got the capacity to bring alive. I think the more that we see how that works, the more we are secure in playing in that. And so I love nothing more than seeing people come alive again, especially people that have been a little bit off
me too.
Down on their luck and
me too, yeah.
And that's what we see, people that have been caught up in addictions or heavy habits. So seeing them come back to life again. You know, I never forget, we had a guy in where he was on a heroin detox, and I remember him tasting an orange again for the first time.
Yeah, you know, those sensations back, and your taste buds and your clear mind, and it is, you know, you see people and, you know, they think they're broken, but they're not. They're just kind of stuck, right? They're stuck in something. And when you see them come slightly unstuck and start to get that sense of newness, it always reminds me of the first few days, weeks, months of my early recovery, where I was like, oh, this is possible. I can do this. I can live. You know, I don't have to kill myself. I can live. And watching that people, that spark. And because, you know, when we work with people in Spain or me in London, they're at the beginning of something, you know, hopefully, unless they just go off and go straight back, which some do. That's always going to be the way it is. They are actually at the beginning of something. So I guess we're around that feeling of newness quite a lot. And, you know, people say to me, it must be hard, your job. It must be a bit depressing and stuff like that. And I think, well, no, not really, because you get an opportunity to be with someone at the beginning of some new phase of their life. And, you know, me and you both have never been the kind to sort of dwell on the past too much with people. We're both kind of forward focused in that sense. So I find that really uplifting, if anything. You know, it's not depressing at all.
We've had, you know, really, Seth, the honour of working together on programs in the last, let's say, even the last 2.5 or 3 years. You know, that's hundreds of people, you know, 253, that kind of figure, 200 or so, and more. You know, there's all the other people outside of, obviously, you know, that's like you know, what an honour to be part of somebody's journey. And you have such a beautiful way of the way that you express yourself. You have a beautiful way with words, and you have a lovely way, you know, to make people feel.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's lovely. I love listening to you, especially when we've had somebody maybe with us for, I don't know, for 4 weeks or 8 weeks or something, and then they, you know, they become part of the family. They do. And then they're on their way, and you know, we have that little chat when they're just sort of out the door. And I love listening to you, and I love the way that you word things with and you've got a lovely sense of humour, and you always make me laugh. And I just think you're going to be amazing. You know,
do you like my tan?
Now, I like your tan. You're looking good. You've got a Christmas jumper on.
I know, I got a tan and a Christmas jumper. So, is it really warm in Spain? And I went, yeah, really warm. To be honest, I went on a tan bed as soon as I got back.
Oh no, you're on join the sunbed gang. I remember last 2 Christmases ago we worked together, and I said to you, I really like your Christmas jumper. And
oh yeah,
it's
not a Christmas jumper. That's this very jumper. That is this very jumper. It's an all year round Christmas jumper.
So Seth, keep smiling,
Thank you, Amanda.
Keep up those corny jokes because they make me laugh, and I'm sure that they'll make other people laugh.
I'll send you a few throughout the week, and there'll be plenty of that in Watford. Don't worry, we're full of it over there. Don't worry, we'll keep the dream alive.
I wish you the best of luck with everything going on at the treatment centre in Watford. I had a guest on a few shows ago, a few episodes ago, who has a project called A Slice of Happiness, and they are in Watford sharing the principle.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, with the homelessness. So
wow.
Yeah, I might hook you guys up and
definitely do. I'd be really interested in that. That sounds fantastic.
So thank you for being part of the 1990 series, and I wish you
a pleasure.
And thank you for being you. I love you so much, Seth. Mwah.
Thank you, Amanda.
Good luck for a new beginning. Adios.
Thank you. You too. Adios.
Amigo. Thank you everyone for listening. This is the lovely Seth Bolton. Bye bye bye.